hello, and welcome everybody. Allie Thompson here. I am here to talk to you about some exciting news that I have coming up for handmade sellers just like you. So, what we are doing is next week I am hosting a Get It Done content creation boot camp specifically designed for handmade sellers. Now, what this boot camp is intended to do is to help you actually create your content for an entire year in one day. Now, in a second here, I'm going to tell you exactly what that means and how that works. But just know that we are really going to dig down and deep and create content that your followers are going to absolutely love. So who is this for? If you struggle with what to say, how to write it down, if you struggle with telling your stories, if you are in my Handmade Sellers Club and you have the Prompts for Profits calendar and sometimes the prompt says, hey, give some features and benefits, and you're like, I just don't quite know what that is for my business, I'm not sure how to say that, then this boot camp is for you. And if you want to not do this alone, right? So many people know that they should really sit down and really map out what their business is about, the stories that they tell, the unique features about their products, but it seems like a boring thing to do all by yourself, right? You got to sit down, you got to think about it for a while, and you're not quite, you're kind of confused and you don't have any guidance. If any of that sounds like you, then the Get It Done Content Creation Bootcamp is for you. So let's talk about what is actually included in this bootcamp. So we are going to get together as a group on a Zoom call one day, one full day to write your content. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. We actually have 2 dates for you to choose from. So last week I asked the question in the group, I'm like, or on my page here, I said, which do you think it works better for you, like days or weekends? I asked a bunch of people that said they were interested in the boot camp, what days work best for them. And it was kind of split. Some people had weekends open, others had weekdays open. So what we're going to do is we have 2 days for you to choose from. You have a weekday and a weekend to choose from. So either February 28th on a Tuesday or March 4th, I think is a Saturday. And we're going to go all day from 8 a.m. till about 4 p.m. in the afternoon together on a Zoom call, getting your content in order. Now, how the call is actually going to go is it's going to be you and a group of other people coming on the call with me. And I'm going to be really talking about the types of posts that you need to be making to your page in order to get high engagement. Now, this doesn't cover every kind of post that you could create because some posts are very simple to create. If you're posting from the PFP and you have a sold product, it's easy to just say, hey, this one was sold, right? So we're not covering every type of post, but we are covering the types of posts that require a little bit more information from you, such as how can people use your product, stories from your customers, frequently asked questions, all of those posts that require a little bit more writing and a little bit more thought from you that often get people stuck. I hear a lot of times, sometimes I'm just staring at the screen and I'm not quite sure what to write. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to talk about some of those basic posts that you should be making to your page. And then what we will do is I will give you a challenging question. I'm going to say, all right, write down X amount of answers for this particular question. So it may be something like write down your frequently asked questions, right? And so you're going to have a period of time to write all of your answers down. And then we come back together. I mean, we're still on the Zoom call, right? We're working together. We come back together and we talk about your answers. Now, there may be questions you're not thinking about that you haven't written down. So we're going to work together as a group to come up with additional questions for each of the group participants so that you have a much more fleshed out list of questions. That's just one example. We're going to do this with all sorts of different types of posts. And we're going to draw out of you what your customers actually find interesting about your product. And what's cool about this is if you try to do this on your own, you're limited by your own perspective. But by doing it in a small group, the way that we're going to be doing during these boot camps, is you've got the group there kind of asking you questions and pushing back a little bit and saying, yeah, but what about this? And it opens up a brand new world of possibility of content for you. And it's also going to actually help open up your perspective of your business and really understanding your customer better, what it is they find interesting. So we're not going to just be working on content. We're going to be working on your, I hate the word brand, but it really is working on your brand story. We're working together to get clear about who you are, who you serve, why are you doing what you do, what questions people have for you, what are the unique selling propositions of your product. And then we're taking that information and we're creating prompts for ourselves for future posts that are specifically built for you and your business. Then at the end of the day, you're actually going to walk away with a whole document full of content that you can then use on your Facebook posts or your Instagram posts, wherever you are posting. And what this is going to allow you to do is at the tip of your fingers, anytime you come across, again, if you're using the Prompts for Profits calendar, you come across a post prompt and you're like, frequently asked question, you can go right over to that document. You can choose one of the items. We're also going to show you how you can flesh these out into more comprehensive posts that are written well. So we're going to help you with the writing as well. And then you can just pop over there and say, oh, there is my question. That's a question somebody asked, or that's a question somebody in the group asked. Let's go back and make that post. So you're going to have all the content that you need at your fingertips, and you're going to know because you've been through the group that these are things people actually find interesting, right? You're going to have that confidence to know that what you're posting is what your customers want to hear because you've had other people in the group echo that back to you. So I'm really excited about this boot camp because the possibilities of what you can do with the information that you're going to get documented down is just absolutely endless. It's going to change the way you talk about your business forevermore. The other advantage of taking this boot camp is, again, that we get to do it together as a group. It's one thing to say, yeah, Allie, I could sit down and do that all by myself, but will you? It's kind of boring to sit down and create tons of content for your business just sitting there typing at a computer, right? This is going to be interactive, and this is going to help you actually get it done. That's why I'm calling it the Get It Done content creation. Get all of those key things done so that, again, when it comes to making a certain type of post, you have that content right at your fingertips. So I want to remind you that we do have 2 times available, and I'm going to drop I'm going to drop the link for you to sign up. We actually have 2 times available. It's not letting me drop it here. Always does that. Facebook is always being so funny about that. Here, let me grab the link here. So I'm going to drop that in the comments. We've got some great questions coming through, so I will answer those here in a second. There are 2 dates available for you to take this boot camp. We have one is on February 28th, and again, it goes from 8 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern. There are plenty of breaks scheduled. We even include an hour for a lunch break, but breaks are scheduled there. And then we have March 4th, which is a Saturday. So if weekdays work better for you, we've got it on a Tuesday. If weekends work better for you, we have one scheduled for a Saturday. Now, what was I going to say about that? We got Tuesday and we've got Saturday. It goes all day. And I was going somewhere with that. Also, the recordings will be available. So if you schedule and you maybe can't stay the entire day, definitely plan to be there. But maybe you're going to miss the last hour or you missed the first hour and you want the replays. The replays will be available to anybody who registers after. Now, you can sign up for this for only $97. This is only $97. I wanted to make this accessible to as many people as possible and allow you that opportunity to work together in a group. The only caveat we have here is we need to have at least 3 people registered for each group. So if the Tuesday group gets 5 people and the Saturday group only gets 1 person, we're going to cancel the Saturday group and refund that amount, simply because we need at least 3 in order for it to be worthwhile to do the boot camp itself. If just 1 person comes in, it's not going to be, very interesting. So we need at least 3 in each group for that group to run. Now, obviously, if Tuesday gets 5 and Saturday only gets 1, Tuesday's good. Tuesday, we've got enough registrations. It would only be Saturday that was canceled. So that's it. That is the Get It Done Content Creation Bootcamp. We're all about getting you a year's worth of content that you can make in one day. And what I mean by a year's worth of content is throughout the year, as it comes time for you to make these sorts of posts, you always have that content to go back to and grab from that. You're going to have enough content there that you can have a good mix. And while in some cases you may not have you may only have 4 or 5 examples of a certain type of post that you can make for one type of post type, you can go back and recycle those, and we'll talk about how to do that, how you can recycle stories, reuse them in new and fresh ways. Okay, so I'm going to answer some questions. We've had some questions pop in here. Sammy says, it sounds like a focus group, but between creators. That's awesome. Yeah, it kind of is like that. It's helping you get out of your own head and your own perspective so that you can see things about your business that you're not seeing. Again, so many of us have just a very kind of narrow view of our own business. We're used to our business. We're used to talking about our business, and we don't see the things other customers see. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to somebody one-on-one and they say, there's nothing special about my business. And we dig just a little bit deeper and it turns out there's something totally amazing about their business. They just didn't think it was that special. They didn't think it was important. So by having the group reflect that back to you and having me there to kind of draw it out of you is going to be advantageous for you, because now where a lot of people say, I get stuck, I'm just saying the same things over and over and over again. That's because you're only seeing it from your perspective. That's because you're only seeing what you're seeing. You're inside your business, so you can't see what everybody else is seeing. It's kind of like a little mini mastermind or like a focus group or a board of directors, however you want to look at it, that can say, no, wait, this is actually really cool. This part of your business, this thing that you do is actually really cool, and we'd love to hear more about that. And it may be something you're totally taking for granted. So we're going to help you with that and get you lists of interesting things about your business that you can post about and create those relationships with your followers, because ultimately we want to make sales, right? Stacy said, will the calendar of prompts not be available anymore? No, absolutely, it's available. So what I'm helping you do here, so if you get the Prompts for Profits calendar, whether or not you're in Handmade Sellers Club or the Super Seller System, which right now, if anybody's watching this and you don't get the Prompts for Profits, the only way to get it now is if you become a Handmade Sellers Club member, which you can do for $7. You can get a 2-week trial. And then it's only $27 a month after that. Not only do you get the Prompts for Profits, but you get so much more, so much more. No, this was specifically created because a lot of people in Handmade Sellers Club, while the Prompts for Profits calendar helps them tremendously and saves them a bunch of time, there's still areas where they're getting stuck. When it comes time to tell stories, when it comes time to talk about unique features of their business or of their product, or even featuring a product, and they're like, I don't know how else to talk about my product. They keep getting stuck. This is what this boot camp is for. Now, you don't have to be a Handmade Sellers Club and be using the Prompts for Profits calendar in order for this to work for you. So if you are simply posting on your own, but you find yourself repeating the same kinds of things over and over and over again, and you're looking for something fresh, this is absolutely going to help you. But also, if you are using the Prompts for Profits calendar and you see a particular prompt, and I'll be using the prompts that we use in the calendar as a guide for the types of questions that I ask you. For instance, like I said, the frequently asked question or prompt. A lot of times people get stuck. They can only think of three, right? They can only think of three questions that they've been asked. Maybe their business isn't that busy, or they're kind of new still, and they can't think of questions people would potentially ask. We're there in the group to ask additional questions and to help formulate questions that, again, people are going to find easier to connect with because it's the type of question that they would actually ask. So yeah, no, this does not replace the Prompts for Profits. This is in addition to. This is to help you create that additional content so that you are coming up with new, unique, fresh posts and not just recycling the same 3 or 4 answers to a particular prompt in the calendar. Stacy says, perfect. Thank you. You're very welcome. So that's it. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and ask in the comments. But that is the content creation workshop. We're calling it the Get It Done content creation workshop because this is the kind of document that is invaluable for you to have. But it can feel like such a slog to do it by yourself. And it is so difficult to try to get out of your own way and try to get out of your own perspective. So we're going to do it together as a group. I'm really excited about this. This is the first time I've run any kind of program like this where it's a full day program other than my retreat, which is in person, where we're spending the day together. Again, 8 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern. Again, there's breaks. Don't worry. We'll have bathroom breaks. We'll have lunch break. But we're just going to knock it out in one day. We're going to sit down. We're just going to knock it out in one day so that you have it done. It's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And you've got that document at your fingertips anytime that you need it. Sound good? All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. The link is in the comments if you are ready to sign up. If you have any questions, you're not quite ready to sign up because you have some additional questions, all you have to do is ask in the comments. I'll be monitoring the comments and checking that throughout the day. I will be talking about this more in Handmade Sellers Club during our call today because you guys were the ones who asked for it. I threw it out there and you're like, yes, that's what I need help with. So that's what I put together for you guys. But again, you don't have to be a Handmade Sellers Club member to sign up. Schaefer says, hope you offer it again because we can't make either date this time. Yeah, so depending on how this goes, and how many people are interested in it, if we get, a full house or we get, a lot of people that missed it this time around and want another one in the future, then we will look at doing that again in the future. All right, guys, thank you very much. It was great talking to you today, and I will talk to you later. Bye.